Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. I would hope that by the blue gauntlets in my inventory, you can probably tell which ones I'm going to be talking about next, which is the Hand of Broc leather gloves. Now, the Hand of Broc leather gloves are relatively nice little low-level gloves. They really kind of are. The only really downside to the Hand of Broc gloves is that at this level, you don't really do a lot of damage, and so they don't really do as much as you would hope for. They are dual leech gloves, which is absolutely amazing, and utilizing them on lower level characters can be pretty sweet. But the Hand of Broc leather gloves have 14 defense, which is not bad for level 5. They have no strength requirement, 3% mana steal, 3% life steal, which is pretty sweet, honestly. But at level 5, you're not really doing a massive amount of physical damage anyway. So like what 3% of 10 damage is like 3 mana. 3% of like 10, physical damage is like 3 restoration, which isn't like the most amazing thing in the world, but it's definitely useful to try and help keep you up. There's also a lot of skeletons in Act 1, which is that life and mana leech don't work on. We also get 10 to 20% enhanced defense, which this one is 20, and we get a bonus defense of 10, which is why these are so high. We also get 20 to mana, which is pretty massive at level 5. You got to remember that at level 5, you're probably rocking like 10 or 20 mana, if that. Especially if you're a melee character, your mana is usually really, really low. And a bonus of 20 mana on top of that can literally sometimes double whatever mana you've got, which is absolutely amazing. We also get 10% poison resistance, which we all know will come in very handy versus Antariel at the end of Act 1. Now, Hand of Broc's gloves can be upgraded, and we're going to play around with this right now. So let me go ahead and take Ariok's Needle out of here, and we're going to grab the Shale and a Talrune, as well as a Perfect Diamond. So this is going to be what we need to upgrade this particular set. And first, you're going to throw this in here, and we're going to get Defense 14, level 5. To defense 52, quite a boost there. Strength requirement 20, which is absolutely nothing. Most characters have strength 20, and a level requirement of 26. Quite a solid upgrade for the Hand of Broc gloves. You have dual leech gloves that are literally going to be a little bit better. They are now demonhide gloves, and honestly, I'm actually kind of impressed with that. Now, granted, they do not have increased attack speed on them, which is really what they're missing. So a lot of people will gravitate toward some 20% IAS gloves or 30% IAS gloves. You could also theoretically be using at this point Saigon's gloves and other piece, which gives you 30% increased attack speed and 10% life steal, although no mana steal. So if you're specifically looking for that 3% mana steal, these might be some good options for you. I mean, dual leech gloves are pretty sweet. And up until recently, hopefully they won't change it, but, certain characters didn't get any real bonus from attack rating, or sorry, from increased attack speed on items, like, for instance, a Blade Fury Assassin. Might be a good choice for these because you would get the life and mana leech. It actually works very well, and increased attack speed does not work with Blade Fury. Also, the Shapeshifter Druids, unless they change it, also do not get increased attack speed from items, so these would actually be pretty good to get some extra life and mana steal on a Shapeshifter Druid early on. Now, we can also upgrade these again one more tier. And to do that, we're going to need a Lemrune, we're going to need a Co-Rune, and we're going to need one more Perfect Diamond. Now, this is probably going to be a good upgrade, honestly. I don't necessarily think that the item is going to be worth using at the higher level, but I do think that because these are the lowest strength requirement gloves, which is the leather gloves, I think the upgrade is actually going to be kind of nice. So we're going to go from 52 defense to level 26 and 20 strength. Lemon Co. Oh, did I have it wrong? No, I have a low rune in there. Not low. Oh, no, not that. No. Lemonico. We go to 76 defense, 50 strength, level 54. So not bad at all. Honestly, not a bad upgrade at all. I don't know if I would specifically want to use a Lem and a Co on that for such a meager defense bonus, but I really felt like the tier 1 to tier 2 was actually kind of worth it. The defense went up from 14 to like 56, and from tier 2 to tier 3, it didn't really go up as much. But if I was actually utilizing these dual leech gloves on a character that was not a low-level character, it might be a decent idea just to upgrade them so that I could use them. I'm not going to say that I would spend a Lem and a Co on this, but it's definitely something that would be worthwhile if you were specifically using these at a higher level. And level 54 is not exactly high level. That's still mid-tier. So, I mean, at the same time, we're also looking at the fact that these gloves can be utilized from level 54 all the way up to the end game until you find yourself a better pair of gloves. And sometimes Mana Leech can be very hard to come by. I've done a couple solo self-found runs where, believe it or not, no matter how hard I tried, no matter, I re-rolled rings and amulets trying to get a decent Mana Leech ring, and I just couldn't get one. And you know, sometimes this is your option, you know, the Hand of Broc gloves. The problem is, though, is finding them. I have seen before that they just don't tend to drop very often. They tend to drop really mostly at lower levels. And since we're talking about where they drop, let's go over to the Silos Pen Calculator and let's see where we could potentially find ourselves a Hand of Broc. Now, if we're going to be a really low-level character, which is what I would suggest for this, because I'm not going to say that this is going to drop from, you know, any monster with a high percentage of magic find, because what we're really talking about is, can we find this on a low-level character? So let's go over there, and let's talk about finding it with 0% magic find. So we've got 0% magic find, and we are in normal difficulty, okay? Where can we find the Hand of Broc? The Hand of Broc will drop fairly nicely from Endariel, Bloodraven. Mephisto is kind of out of our reach, especially if we're level 5, right? And that's about it. So we've got Bloodraven. So we could farm Bloodraven over and over again in the Burial Grounds in normal difficulty with 0% magic find and have a 1 in 2,534 chance. That's not bad. Let's take a look at super uniques in normal difficulty, and let's see what kind of monsters can drop this here. So Cold Crow in the cave has a 1 in 648 chance. The Cow King is kind of out of our reach, but he's got a pretty good chance. We also have Pit Spawn Foul Dog in jail level 2, has a 1 in 2,123 chance. Rakanishu is a pretty good chance, and so is Treehead Woodfist. So what I'm looking at here is I'm seeing several super uniques at a low level that have a pretty good chance of dropping this item. Bone Ash, Treehead, Rakanishu, and Bloodraven, all of which have a pretty decent chance and are pretty easy to get to in normal difficulty, and killable by a level 5 character. So very interesting. You could just punk Rakanishu a bunch of times, and hopefully he'll drop you some Hand of Brocs. All in all, Hand of Brocs were designed around the idea of a low-level character getting a very nice pair of dual leech gloves. And, you know, later on in the game, when you get into, you know, level 54 and on up, dual leech gloves tend to be not so rare, especially since you can craft blood gloves, which spawn with 3% life. And if they happen to spawn with 3% mana, you end up with dual leech gloves. And they can have other nice effects on them, like 20% IAS. They can have plus to skills on them. They can have all sorts of cool things. And it really just kind of puts Hand of Brocs to shame. All in all, what Hand of Brocs are good for is a low-level dual leech setup. Something that you can throw on a lower-level character, get yourself life and mana steal early on, double your mana pool early on, and as you get higher level, take them off for something better. You won't always find something better, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Whether you find something better or not, if you have yourself a pair of Hand of Brocs, you don't have to worry about it. Not for a little while, anyway. Now, granted, they don't really have any benefit to non-melee and ranged characters, so keep that in mind. And honestly, they're going to be really useful on any character that has lots of mana issues early on. Amazon, cough, cough. Freaking multi-shot Amazons, man. If you build a multi-shot Amazon toward the beginning of the game, you might as well just, like, sell your soul to the devil for an infinite mana potion because, well, you're screwed. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when they are about a very blue pair of leather gauntlets. And keep watching.